As soon as it's
over to me.
What's popping, y'all? How y'all doing out there? We
Hey,
are
hey,
back
hey.
with another episode of Shift Real Talk.
yeah.
And we are excited to be back in the place.
Absolutely.
So listen, guys, listen. We have a bomb diggity for you tonight. And I'm going old school. I said bomb diggity. Yeah, I did go there. It's the bomb diggity. That's New York language for y'all don't know. Well, that's old New York language. Anyway, listen, y'all. We have not only do we have our exciting co-host who is with us every week, we have a guest with us today.
Yes.
And listen, y'all are going to enjoy her on today because she is definitely the voice that the people would love to hear.
Need to hear.
Yes, we were excited to meet her a couple of weeks ago. First and foremost, before we even introduce her, I'm your boy, Pastor J.
I'm your girl, Lady Free. Okay, Zany is
yeah.
Well, Lady Y'all is in the place, and like Pastor J said, we have a phenomenal.
Zania.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Are you back?
You back? Okay, cool.
We've already.
Yeah, I couldn't hear anything.
Okay.
Are you well? Thank you back. So let's try it again. Let's do the intro again.
Okay, great.
I'm your boy, Pastor J.
And I'm your girl, Lady Free.
And I'm Zany.
With the high note.
Yeah.
All right, and our special guest today is my sister girl, my good girlfriend here in Houston, Texas. We have Miss Lavania Triumph. She is a therapist. She is an author. You can find her on TikTok, Instagram too, right?
Yes.
Where can we find you on Instagram and TikTok?
So everything is Lavanya R. Tryon. So my Instagram, my TikTok, my Facebook, you can YouTube, you can find me on all the social medias, LavanyaRTryon.com.
Okay, so your volume is down.
If you got a mic, you need to bring your mic a little closer to you so we can hear you.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna put my AirPods in. Let's see if that works.
Because we definitely need the people.
Yeah, we need to hear you. We need to hear you. This is going to be an awesome conversation today.
Absolutely. So, okay, you want to go ahead?
Can y'all hear me better?
Say again.
Can you hear me better?
Not really. It's still
Maybe
low.
my volume. Hold on, let me see. What about now?
We can hear you. We can hear you. We can hear you, but we want to hear you.
Okay. I'm trying to.
But we want to hear you. Yes.
Okay.
Say something now, sis.
Hello. I'm still low?
You still low, but you just gonna have to project your voice a little bit. We can definitely hear you though, but we just want to make sure.
And I'll do a little troubleshooting on my end. So give me just a second.
Okay. Well, while we are troubleshooting, we need to tell them the topic of today's podcast, because this one is going to be really, really like, I know dear to Lavania's heart and mine as well. Well, actually, all of us, because everybody, we all go through relationship trauma. We all get in relationships feeling like we just want to, we in love. We want to have the best relationship possible. But while we are troubleshooting, we need to tell them the topic of today. So basically, the topic of today's podcast, trauma healing. It says, how much should I give before I'm giving too much? How much should I give before I am giving too much? So we're gonna let Pastor J start that off.
How much? Say that again. That kind of resonated. That kind of hit home.
Right.
Like I really want. Yeah, it hit home. I really want you to say that topic one more time, one more again,
all right,
for the people in the cheap seats.
How much Do I give before I am giving too much?
Yes. So here's the thing, and we got some reinforcements on tonight, so this is going to be great. How many of us have ever started a relationship, right? And we've tried to give 100% of ourselves in the beginning of the relationship. Oh, look at it. Whoa, everybody. Wow.
Everybody.
So this relates home. Those of you out there in our nation, in Shift Nation, if y'all could just raise your hand in the chat, that'd be awesome so that we know. I want to know how this thing hits home. You know what I'm saying? Let us know. Let us know if you have tried to give yourself 100% of yourself in the beginning of the relationship. Now, I just want to start this off, y'all. Because I got 3 powerful ladies on here. Yeah. And I want to ask y'all, how did that make y'all feel by giving yourself in the beginning? Because we're gonna dig deep tonight. I promise you. Right. We digging deep tonight. I promise you that. We're gonna dig deep. But I want to know, let's start off. I want to ask y'all this question. How did giving yourself in the beginning make you feel? 100% now. All out.
All right. So go ahead.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So for me, what you're describing is what I call Cancun dating, right? So Cancun dating is when you go into a relationship or if you go on a vacation, they want to show you all the best features first, right? They don't show you the mosquitoes. They don't show you, like, if you get outside of this resort, somebody gonna take your bag. They don't show you any of that. They show you all the best things first. So it's what I call Cancun dating, which is we lead with the best of ourselves first, and we hide all the other parts of us that we think that the person will reject. And so when you do that, what you're doing is getting a false sense of that relationship, right? Because that person isn't actually getting to know you and seeing you, they're seeing your representative. And so it feels good in that moment because that person can't help but to accept and fully want to be with you, but they're not accepting the real you. They don't know the real you yet. And so it feels intoxicating in that moment because everything is good and it's all the butterflies. But then when hardship happens, when we start being real, we don't know how to handle it because I've never seen that aspect or I've never seen that part of you before.
Wow. And I love that you brought that out because then that answers your question, Pastor Jay, that we think we're giving 100%. We only giving a part of us. So it's not even 100%.
I caught that.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Nobody, I mean, we all raised our hand for our definition of giving. Like we just, we all in the beginning. That's what we think. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the representative that we present to the person we're in a relationship with, they get all of that person.
Wow.
All of the best of us. 100%. They get 100% of the best of us, but they don't get 100% of who we really are.
Come on.
Wow. Well, so here's the thing. This is what happens. You know what I'm saying? I want to start this because we're gonna dig deep tonight, y'all. I want to start this off, y'all, because this is what happens. Now, I hear what you're saying, Zane. You say we give half of ourselves. But
I didn't say half. I didn't put a percentage.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. Don't please forgive me. This is what I believe we do. I believe we try to set a standard in the beginning of the relationship. Now, remember, every time remember, the most memorable part of a relationship to me is the beginning of the relationship. You know why? Because you're trying to set a bar.
Right.
You're trying to set a stage.
Right.
You're trying to really impress. Because what have we been told through culture? First impressions are lasting impressions. So this is what we do. We go all out. We're buying flowers. We're spending time. We're calling. We're even buying things. We're buying gifts. We're taking out to expensive restaurants. You know why? Because we're trying to maintain, or not maintain, but impress, the beginning stage of the relationship. But this is what happened. That, to me, is error movement. Because what happens is, when that becomes it becomes tiresome because you're giving your full energy. It becomes tiresome. So what happens? Your behavior changes.
Right.
You know what happens when your behavior changes? Not behavior, but the actions that you did to impress, it is no longer happening at that magnitude.
Right.
So what happens is, because it's no longer happening, then to the other person, oh, you changing. You're doing something different. Something is wrong. Come on and comment on that. Come on. I see your face. I see y'all faces. Come on, comment on that.
Because in that aspect, if you're tired of doing something, that means that's not a part of your character. Because who I am is who I am, no matter if somebody appreciate it, no matter if, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change if it's who I truly am. So that means you're going extra and above what you think you're doing, what you think I would enjoy, what you think that I would like. And then when you get tired of doing that and not getting the response that you think you should get, then you stop. Because it was never truly a part of who you really are.
But that's the point. Because again, I think we're saying the same. Well, I'm gonna let y'all talk before I come on. Because I know y'all got. I see the bubbling. I see Lavanya is bubbling in her. Come on, I'll let y'all comment before.
No, I agree. I think that what you're doing is setting yourself up for discontentment. You're setting yourself up. You're setting a bar that you have no expectation or no desire, or even you don't even have the skill set to continue it. You are literally doing things that you think, that you believe that should be done in this relationship. So when you get comfortable in the relationship, it's not the fact that you've changed, it's that you become more yourself, right?
Correct.
It's more of, I am interviewing in these first couple of days or weeks in this relationship. Now you got the employee, and the employees show up late. They go out for lunch late. They come back late. They clock out early. And so what we're doing is we're expecting the representative that showed up in in the interview to now sustain this relationship, as opposed to feeling comfortable enough to show up authentically as yourself. And then that way, this person is getting to know and getting to love and getting to accept the real you. But the problem with that is that we believe if we show up authentically as ourselves, then someone will not accept us. So we take their choice away by showing them something that is not us. And so then they make the choice to accept a relationship or a person that they think they're getting. And then we get okie doke when you switch and you flip. And now all of a sudden the things that you did to get me are the things that you will not do to keep me. And so as a relationship, if we're doing that, then one, I truly feel like that we're not comfortable and confident enough to know ourselves. Right? Because if I'm comfortable and confident enough in myself, then I'm not going to give you something on day one that I'm not going to give you 2 years down the road, or 5 years down the road, or 6 years down the road. And when people say you've changed, it's actually not necessarily. It's rare that a person actually changes. It's just the fact that you never took the chance to actually get to know their character and get to know that person in the beginning.
Absolutely.
I'm inclined to believe that the representative is a part of you. I think the representative is the best part of you. I think that if you could pretend, or so we say pretend, or present that part to people, then it's in there somewhere. But it's like the relationship and other things that happen. I heard this man say the other day, if you take an orange and you squeeze an orange, what kind of juice are you going to get? You're going to get orange juice. So that's the same with people. If you take us and you squeeze us, what you're going to get out of us is what's in us. So I think what happens over time is the squeezing, the pressures of life, the relationship not looking the way you thought, or you made an expectation list, a checklist of how it's all supposed to look. It's not adding up. So now the things that's in you are starting to come out, and their representative is being overshadowed by those other things, because we're led by our emotions a lot of times today. We're not being taught how to handle emotions.
Absolutely.
We're not being taught how to deal with rejection, any kind of situation. It used to be they were teachable moments. Now it's just,
yes, absolutely.
I don't know.
And I'm sorry, Pastor Jay. I slightly disagree that just because you do the action, that is a part of your character. Because to know to do good, you still have a choice not to do it. Just because you know it don't mean that it's embedded in you. Just because you have knowledge of something doesn't mean it's a natural action for you to do or a natural thought. So can you train yourself to do it? Absolutely. Like for instance, eating healthy, right? And in the beginning, that's not something that's a part of what you do. You have to consciously make a choice until it becomes a habit. So I
Mhm.
feel like sometimes just because you represent something, you could give me a false representation. You could sell me wolf tickets and it still not be a part of who you are. Just because you know that's the right thing, don't mean that is in you to do the right thing.
But let's be real, y'all. Because one thing I want y'all to do is I really want y'all to be honest here. In the beginning of a relationship, and we just real quickly, man, we thank you. We got a lot of people on. Camille Briggs, thank you for tuning in. Angel Ford, thank you so much. My dad is on. Aunt Liza, she said you are doing all all that in one hand and holding the mask up in the other.
Oh my, who said that?
Aunt Liza,
Aunt Liza, you better say
we
that.
got Mama Pearly on. Hey, Mama
Mama.
Pearly. Thank you. Al West, what's up, my guy? He said,
Yeah.
you'll never fully know anyone until you live with them. We don't want you to live with them before you get married.
Baby.
But
That's
here's the
opening up
thing,
a
y'all.
whole
Let's
nother
be honest.
conversation.
All right.
Yeah. Let's really be honest now. Because I'm a man and I know what I did in the beginning of every relationship that I got in. Whether it was me, whether it wasn't me, whether I thought it was me, whether I was trying to be me. What I did was try to impress. Because again, there is a narrative. If you are not able to do this for a woman, then guess what? In her head, you're not the man. You know, this is what culture puts out. Culture says that you got to be able to take care of me. So in a man's head, if I take you out to lunch or if I take you to a nice restaurant, that should tell you I could at least take you to dinner. You know what I'm saying?
So,
This is
Pastor Jay,
what we
I have a
no, go
question.
ahead. Sure.
So why do you no longer want to impress me after 5 years of marriage then? That's
Because
the
again,
question.
we're putting on the act. This act is to please you. That don't mean it's me. This is the representative that I am presenting to you. So because this is what I think that's going to get me. Now remember, we are looking. A lot of us are in relationships because we are looking to get. We're not looking to build. We're looking to get. So what we do is we keep pouring in. We keep pouring in. We pour in so much. And sometimes even women do that. Most women do this more than men because women will. I believe women, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I got three powerful ladies on here. I believe women give a lot until the man start messing up. Because what happens is some women give to a fault until they lose themselves in the giving. Because that's what happens also when you're giving too much before it's you give too much. And women give and give and give until you forget about who you are because you're pouring into this man who really needs. Y'all, come on, y'all.
Okay,
y'all tell me about that.
Because I know y'all like real professionals and stuff. Let me get my little piece in real quick. I believe that more men show up as representatives than women. I believe we fall for the representative and we love really hard in the beginning, like you said, until something shows up to show us, oh snap, what have I done? What have I got myself into? That's what I believe.
I think it's equal, and I'm gonna tell you why. You got a lot of women that show up. I will cook for you, catering to their man, and that's not who they are. Because when they get in their relationship, what you hear most men say, she don't cook no more. She got a nasty house, but that house was clean when he was dating her. I think that I think both sexes do it. We just do it differently. Now, I think that most women show up with what more openness than a man. I would say that we're a little bit more vulnerable than men show up, but we're still given a representation of who we are because we are scared. Just like the man is thinking, if I show them all of me, I don't know if they could take it. The woman too, because I know me, I got a little crazy in me, so I'm not gonna show up to the date. I'm not gonna show up and give them. Well, I ain't show up with my husband, but I didn't show up with my husband with my crazy side, even though he was like, "Yeah, you a piece of work," but I didn't show up like that.
Yeah. And so, and I have feelings about both. I do believe that there are people that do pretend, right? I do truly believe that. Think about January 15th is called National Quitting Day. Why? Because people have already given up on their New Year's resolutions 15 days after they have started them. And the
Wow.
reason being is because people think that when the clock changes, we change. So
Hmm.
all the things that you were doing on December 31st, baby, you're going to do those exact things on January 1st. You're just more motivated because it's this stereotypical thing to say, oh, I'm going to do. And what we do is we start too much. So instead of saying,
Right.
okay, I haven't worked out at all of 2025, I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week. No, why don't we just say 1 day a week? Why don't we just say 2 days a week, right? Because no one wants the slow build up, right? So I
Right.
believe on one end that people can pretend, and who they give me in a relationship, trust me, I have a divorce to tell from that. People can, they pretend to be someone to get you, and then the real them comes out. And I also believe that some people give a fullness of themselves. They give parts of themselves, but it's not the fullness of themselves, right? So like Zany was saying, I gave my husband the authentic me, but I didn't give him the vulnerable me. And that's
Hmm.
two different. Everybody deserves the authentic Lavanya. Only people that have earned get my transparency and get my vulnerability, right? So that little craziness in her, that's her transparency and her vulnerability. That should be kept for her husband, right? But what we have to understand is that if we are showing up as ourselves, then and being comfortable, I do believe that when you don't feel comfortable enough showing up as yourself, it's because one, because you don't know yourself. Two, because you're not very comfortable in being yourself, right? I tell everybody now, this point, I pretend to be somebody for so long. If you make it past 10 minutes with me, what you get is what you see is what you get. Like this is now your choice. No money back guarantee.
Yeah.
Like this is where it is, right? Because when my husband now, like he met the authentic real me from day one. And
Yeah.
the very things I started making my husband lunch for before we started dating. I have made my husband lunch every single day that he goes to work. We'll be married 2 years next Tuesday. And every
Wow.
single day he goes to work, I get up and make him lunch. That's not pretending. That's me. Right. And so I can withstand that because that's a part of my character.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
And
Right.
so that's where we have to be able to say is how can I impress this woman without stepping out of my character or without building up some image that I'm not going to be able to sustain later on. And if we can do that, you can still impress the girl, but still staying within your authentic self so that you don't look up 2 3 years or 2 3 months most times, because baby, we ain't even
Right.
lasting three
Right.
4 weeks in this thing
Right.
before we didn't gave up. Then I don't have to work to sustain it. It's just me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That,
Right.
awesome. Awesome. But I'm a witness to say this. If you have to overgive to build love, you're not building love. You're
You're
buying
not
time.
building love.
Ooh.
Hmm.
That's
You're
good.
buying time.
Ooh.
Just to pick it,
I would say you're stealing time.
you're stealing it. Yeah.
You're stealing my time
That's
because you
right.
don't give me a choice. You're
Yeah.
stealing my time.
Right. And see,
Exactly.
that's something I really, really, really hate. Is with anything. Give me the truth so I can make a good choice. Don't take
Yes.
my choice away. I will always tell my husband that, like, even before I was with my husband, that was one phrase I kept saying. Don't take my choice away. But let me tell you something that's funny, Livonia. When you were saying you would make lunch for your husband even when you were dating, but you would make him lunch every day. I would try. I enjoy cooking. I like fixing my husband plate. I like giving it to him and all of that stuff. I was raised doing it. I enjoy seeing him eat a hot meal, right? But I was the opposite. I didn't want to do it because I didn't want it to be an expectation. So that for the days I didn't feel like doing it, I didn't want that to already be, oh, you used to always this, and this. But it's a part of me to
Hmm.
do it. But it's also a part of me to say, every now and again, I'm not really feeling like doing it, and I don't want that to be an because people put expectations on stuff, and then they stick you to the expectation, and now all of a sudden we fussing because I'm not fixing your plate every day.
That's right.
I don't want to argue.
So we have just to go back real quick. Al West said, just a couple of comments I want to read real quick. Al West said, but once you become set in your ways during the course of maturing, it's hard and it gets harder as time goes. Aunt Liza said, people are not showing up whole because they are broken. You can't get the fullness half empty. Come on.
My goodness, you better exactly clock.
So here's another thing I want to bring out, and I want you guys to comment on this too. When you give too much too early, it starts to create an imbalance. Let me tell you what I mean when I say that. What happens is there's one person that's giving, there's one person that's receiving. There's one person that's giving, there's one person that's receiving. What happens in the giving and receiving moment? The one that's receiving now feels entitled to continue to receive.
Right.
So now what they're doing is they're building the relationship on now what you can give, but not what we can build. Y'all comment on that one there. Woo! I left that one open. How do you feel about being with somebody? I'm sorry, go ahead, Livonia.
Yeah, no, you go ahead, finish your thought. What were you gonna say?
No, I'm saying, like, how does that feel to be with somebody who has now gotten used to what you give? And the thing is, we program ourselves that this is the thing that's going to keep them.
Sustain it.
This is what's going to the relationship. Right. So we're not even building. We don't even, and some of us don't even realize that we're not even building.
Nah,
we just created an entitled relationship.
Yeah, that's it. I think what you're saying is it's unrealistic expectations, which are often unspoken expectations, would always lead to unmet expectations, right? So if I'm not stating, like, here's the thing, I talk about me, like, making my husband lunch every day. I have not filled my gas tank in 3 years. I have not touched a trash can. I have not, like, these are like, so it's mutual. When I say I will not touch a trash can. Like, these are mutual things. So I take care of him, he takes care of me, right? So we figure it's reciprocal. The problem that we have, though, is that one, like you said, Pastor Jay, is we give to get, right? I'm trying to manipulate this person into doing what I want them to do by doing these things. Because I think, and as women, especially as Black women, we are told that we should, if we just pray enough, if we just love them enough, if we just do all these things enough, then you can turn a good man into, no, like, men can be hoes too. Can I say that out loud? Yes. And so bringing them, trying to make them into a house husband, like, it ain't working. And so what we have to understand is that if we're setting ourselves up for these expectations where I am giving and I am giving and I'm giving and I'm not receiving back. I was talking to an event I had a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about trustworthiness, right? And so we were talking about the story of Joseph and his brothers, and we all know the story of Joseph and his brothers. Well, first of all, Joseph was like, "Oh, I had this dream, and y'all gonna bow down to me." And I was like, "Wait, what? Y'all gonna we gonna bow down to you?" So he was very prideful in that situation, right? Now, hindsight, they did bow down to him in a whole nother perspective. So someone came with a perspective to say Joseph should have been able to trust his brothers. He's telling his brothers something that was special to him. He should have had that support system. And I said, why? There was nothing in my Bible that says that his brothers were trustworthy. So where we mess ourselves up is that we trust untrustworthy people. We expect a person to be trustworthy simply because I gave them my trust. Right. So if I am expecting something from someone that has never lived up to those expectations, then I'm setting myself up for failure. Because now I'm giving to get something that this person may be either incapable or unwilling to give. But I'm setting myself up for a codependent relationship with this person because they are not going to, if they can keep getting from me, they're going to continue to get. And then I'm going to be resentful. I'm going to be bitter. And it's all because I'm choosing to give too much and not expecting back, or not even knowing if this person is capable or willing to give that back to me.
So, and I would like to add, like, okay, so what you're talking about is me, not present day me, past me. And it's not just in my first marriage, it was in even friendships. I found myself being the giver, the giver, the giver, but feeling depleted. And not that
Mhm.
I enjoyed giving. It wasn't the issue of giving. It was that I felt like nothing was being reciprocated, that no one was appreciating me. And then the expectation became, if I call you because I'm so used to you responding, if you don't respond, I'm disappointed now from other people, right? So I went to God and I said, God, this is overwhelming to me. I'm mad at everybody. I'm hurt by everybody, but I'm the common denominator. Make me understand.
Mm.
And the way that God gave it to me was, you met at the wrong person. You met at all these people when you're the one that set the
Mhm.
boundaries, the guidelines, the expectations. Like you set all of this in motion. Why? Because just like a child, if every time that child goes to the store and you buy them something, guess what they're going to expect? You to buy something when we go in that store. How dare
Mhm.
you tell me no when we go in that store? So I set that up with every relationship I was in, whether it was friendship, whether it was in, a romantic relationship. I kept setting up that the expectation that I'm going to be there no matter what, and you don't have to give back to me.
Oh
So
wow.
God said, be mad with self. And then if you wanted to change self. Start setting different boundaries. Start saying no. Start setting your expectations. This is what I need from you as my friend. This is what I need from you as my lover. So when me and my husband got together, and we were just talking as friends, and he said, what do you expect out of a relationship? And I said, my thing is, I don't mind treating no man like a king. I said, however, this time around, I need to know that I'm his queen and I need to feel it and I need him to show me. And whether I tell him or not, I need it to just be reciprocated. I don't want it to be the expectation that I'm just giving. So
Mm-hmm.
it took for me to start setting those boundaries,
Yeah.
those expectations. Because a lot of times you don't realize it's you.
Hmm.
It's not out, it's not external.
It's
It's
you.
you.
It's me. And
Right.
there's two really quick things. So as a therapist, the first thing that I heard in was what are like a cognitive distortion, which is called the gratitude trap, right? Gratitude trap, you never know that you have this cognitive distortion until when you give and their response makes you feel like I'm being taken care of, I'm being taken advantage of,
Mhm.
then you realize your motive in that. I am giving because I want this person to show gratitude to me. I want this person to show, I
Mhm.
want this person to appreciate me, to thank. So it's like this person asked me, hey, can I, borrow $10 or can I do this or can I do that? And I say,
Right.
sure. But they don't say, oh my goodness, thank you, Lavanya. You have done you and I feel rejected. I feel some kind of way. And then I'm asking myself, well, one, what was my expectation in giving? Like, was I giving this with a motive that was hidden to me until I didn't get the response? And I have prime example, I helped my husband when he was a teacher set up his classroom, and I helped him like for 3 days. And then the third day I was supposed to help him, we were supposed to leave at a certain time, but we stayed like 6 hours later. And he was like, thank you. And I was like, that's all you're gonna say? I, did this. And he was like, well, what else do you expect? you
Oh.
you chose you chose to give me this. And it, when I say hit me like a ton of bricks, and so because it was like I was expecting him to have this overly like I can't live my life without you thing when he didn't ask me to do anything. I gave that. So when you're talking about that, you're saying you gave this, but their response didn't meet the need that you didn't even know you had.
Oh
And so
my
now
goodness.
you're feeling bitter. Now you're feeling resentful.
Wow.
And so when you took that to God, that's why God had to check you and say, this is on you. Because
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
what am I getting? What am I receiving out of giving for this other person that when they don't respond in a certain way, my need isn't being met? And
Wow.
so now I bet when you give out of a heart that wants to give. And if I don't want to give
Oh.
it, I don't give, right?
That's
That's
period. Yeah.
that it costs too much. If I don't, if my giving is if my giving is dependent on your response to my giving, then I'm giving for the wrong reason.
Wrong
Wow.
reason.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I want you to answer this question that was put up. It says, so are you wrong for letting the person know when they are not being consistent? And I would assume that's in the giving.
No, but again, well, in the giving or in any of thing, like I think it's wrong to not tell a person, right? But again, check your motives, right? Check your mindset, because I have to go back and say, did I give all this stuff to get, right? What was my expectation in this? And if we have this expectation, then if this person showed up as a different person and they're not doing these things, then yes, this is where that healthy conversation comes in and says,
Yeah.
because expecting a man to read your mind, like that's witchcraft, like that's foolishness. Like
Wow.
if you're upset, if you're angry, if you're mad, it is not it's not healthy in any way to say he should just figure it out or he should just know. Like, explain what you want and what you need. Remember, unrealistic expectations are often unspoken expectations, which are always unmet expectations.
And then think about this, when as our mothers, whenever, I don't care if it was to her sons, her daughter, our mothers will overdo it. Oh my God, look, that's so pretty. Look at this. Oh my God, you painted such a beautiful picture for mommy. You know what? I'm gonna hang it right here on the refrigerator. So mommies, women, we see that and we do that, but we expect men to do the same thing, and they just not built to
They
do that.
just
As a
don't
matter
do
of
it.
fact, if my husband were to say, "Oh my God, babe, you did such a good job," I would be looking at him like, "You being sarcastic now?" You know how we do.
What you
Like,
want? What you want? Right.
right. I mean, like, you know.
Hey,
So it's like it's that thing of, it's so funny how oftentimes, like even what Eliza say, is it wrong to let them know they're not being consistent? No, it's not wrong. Communication is key. But it's the communication. Are you having adult communication where you're telling them like you mom and you like mad at them and you scolding them, or are you telling them in a way where it's a conversation like, hey,
Or it can be
I know
received.
it's bad.
Yeah.
You used to do this consistently, but now you're not. Like, what happened? What changed? The whole nine. And don't expect, this is one thing that really gets me, and I don't know how y'all feel about this. Don't expect that person to respond beautifully and perfectly and with rose color and butterflies. And it's like sometimes, no matter
The rainbow.
you say it, and it's not what you say, it's how you say it. Not all the time. I'm sorry. I live in real life, and in real life, sometimes you could say it in the sweetest, the best way you know how, and it's still, if it's something inside that person, it'll still trigger them to have a certain response or reaction to what you say, and it's not always a nice thing. So yeah, have the conversation. Do not have an expectation as to how that person gonna respond or receive what you say.
but I want to say this. Hey, Robin, good to see you, sis. We miss you. We ain't see you in a minute.
Hey, girl.
But I want to say this to you guys. Let's be. I always like to come back down straight street.
All right.
Let's be honest. When you are overgiving, especially in the beginning, it comes from this word that gets us in a whole lot of emotional, spiritual trouble, and it's fear. We have a fear of losing. We have a fear of abandonment. We have a fear of I'm not good enough.
Rejection.
We have a fear of rejection. And most of all, we have a fear of being alone.
My God.
Oh,
My
So
God.
because of these fears, we overgive.
We do.
We overcompensate for these emotions. Y'all, come on, chime in about that. What do y'all say about that?
Come on now.
What do y'all say
Come
about
on,
that?
Lavanya, hit me with the good stuff.
And I agree. I agree that it's a fear response. It's a trauma response, right? And so when we are over giving, like, and I say this from experience, like I've kind of shared a little bit of my story, but when I've been engaged, I've been proposed to 5 times. I've been engaged 3 times, and I've been married twice. Now, I say Lavanya has only been proposed to and married once because all of those other people, they proposed to who I presented, right? I
Oh,
I became who I Cancun dated. I became exactly what he needed. So he had no response other than to marry me, than to want to marry me, because I literally found out everything that he wanted and he needed in a relationship, and I became that. He didn't know how to take care of himself and he needed a mama. I became his mama. He needed
Wow.
somebody that could take care of his business and do that. I was his number one business partner. I became exactly what these men needed because I was afraid of being alone. I was afraid of not being enough. And for me
oh,
being by of myself, I didn't believe I was enough. So I had to be too much for this other person so that they
mm,
wouldn't reject me. Because if I'm exactly what they need, surely they'll want me, right? And so it 100% is a fear of something. It's a fear of rejection or being alone, or even a fear of knowing myself well enough and loving myself enough to say, if this person does not see my value, it doesn't make me any less valuable. It just means I'm not theirs, right? And they're not mine, but I'm still valuable. And so at that point, when I started to realize that aspect of it, then I committed to say, one, get to know me first and
mm.
foremost, right? Because I can't give anybody something I don't have. And so I can't give them the real me until I know the real me. So I had to literally, and this was like, when I tell you, like dry DMs, like nobody, like, you know, you go out and you real cute and don't nobody talk to you. Like I know
Right,
you see me. And so when
right,
I tell you, like, God closed everybody's eyes, like it was literally, and that's where my first book came out of it, was understanding what it meant to be single and satisfied in God while still expecting and anticipating to be married.
my
Right? Because
goodness, yeah,
I felt like so many books missed both of those things. Either we pretended like this person who was single didn't want to be married and oh, just everything, you know, was just
right,
happy go lucky in the singleness, or we pretended like the only reason that you were single was to get married. And
mm-hmm.
so that my book bridged the gap between the two. Is I can be, if I'm not content where I am today, then there's no way I'll be satisfied where I am tomorrow. And
Hmm.
so I had to figure that out. So 100% I agree that it's fear driven. And so to how to combat that, first and foremost, get to know yourself and get to love yourself. And once you love yourself, then you won't take rejection as dating. I'm this last thing I'm gonna say. Dating is the only thing that we get rejected at and we want to throw in the towel. Like, how many of you have had a job and you applied for 50 jobs before you got one? Every
Right,
one of those 49 jobs rejected you. Did you
right,
stop applying for a job? No, because why? You like to eat, right? Like you got rejected from schools. You got rejected from a house and offer. We dating is the only thing that when we get rejected, we take that so personally that there's something wrong with me, as opposed to just simply saying, this just isn't the person for me. And I appreciate you not wasting my time and freeing up the space so that the one for
right.
me can find me.
Come on here. Oh,
I, 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 I really wish a lot of us would truly understand what's inside of us. Because
Yeah.
if we really truly understood what was inside of us, the Bible says this in Matthew 7th chapter. It says, do not, hold on. It said, do not give what is holy unto dogs.
ooh,
And
Unto
back in those
dogs.
times, dogs were considered evil. They were considered evil. So what we're doing is we're casting these jewels and these pearls that's been placed inside of amongst dogs. And the thing is, and then what we're doing is we're giving these dogs these
the
good,
best
the
part.
best part of us.
Hmm.
And then when we get bitten and when we get chewed and when we get ate up by these dogs, then we don't, those wounds, they stay. For some reason, they stay. And we carry those same wounds into another pack of dogs.
Right. Okay, so
Yeah.
listen, I just thought about a good story. I like this story. So I think I've told it once before. So this is what giving too much in a relationship looks like to me in picture. So there was a man. It was cold outside. It was snowing. He saw a snake in the yard. It was frozen to death. He was like, oh my God, gotta get the snake, take care of the snake, warm it up. So he brought the snake inside. You heard this before, Lavanya?
No, but
think
I
I
see where it's
did.
going. I see where it's
Added
going.
I added some freedom to it. So brought the snake inside, got the snake all warmed up, nice. The snake feeling all warm and cozy now. So he's slithering a little bit. He's doing his thing, right? Next thing you know, the snake bite him. The man said, whoa, after everything I did for you, I brought you in my house. I warmed you up. I fed you. I took care of you. Why did you bite me? He said, well, you knew I was a snake when you took me in.
That part.
Come on,
That part.
we know.
Yeah.
But what we
That
do is
part.
we ignore it for the fears. But we can't give judgment to nobody because all of us do it. My thing
Yes.
was, I think mine, again, I was a chameleon. Baby, if the man was brown, I jump on that thing, I turn brown. If he was green, I jump on that thing and I turn green. I was everything he needed me to be when he
Mhm.
needed me to be it, and I was good at it. However, it's like my fear was my dad is a pastor and true to it, loves God, loves taking care of God's people, and he was always gone. I was a daddy.
Mm.
I wanted my daddy, right? So when I started dating, I did all of that so he would stay. And I didn't realize until later I did all that so he would stay. So I gave all of me, I did all the extra stuff, all the wifey stuff when I'm just a girlfriend, all the chameleonized behavior because I wanted him. I had a fear of him leaving and being gone, even though he was still there. You know, we
Yeah.
would still be in a relationship with him being absent. I was so afraid of that. I did not want that to happen to me. So I became.
So real quick,
Mm.
y'all, I want y'all to really understand this, and then I got some questions for you guys. We got 3 powerful women on here, y'all. We just want to give it up for these powerful women that we got on this platform tonight. These are some bomb. So real quick, what happens is, especially when you're giving yourself too early, what happens is now it becomes a battle, and the battle is proving. Like now you have to prove yourself, and there's no
Mhm.
intentionality on building. So you have to build a relationship rather than go into a battle of proving that you could be, proving that you are enough, proving that you like Livonia said, like chameleonizing, becoming what these people want or what these people need, and actually when you do stuff like that, you are really truly not being who you are. You're being
Right.
what they want,
And then we get mad because
and then we
they
get
don't
mad.
love us,
Yeah,
but you didn't give them you to love. It's like, how would you
Baby,
be mad at him for not loving you when you don't even know who you are and you
you
never
have
gave
no idea.
that person to love?
yes,
But we mad. Big mad.
Mm.
yes.
Why?
Big.
So my question, so I got a question, and those who are out here, just real quick, let me read online. We're gonna take our time tonight, y'all. She said, my husband wanted to be accepted, but not as his authentic self, for fear of not being accepted. But now I have a better understanding of my husband's way of thinking and why he showed up with the mask on. Amen. To
Wow.
God be the glory.
That's
To God
good.
be the glory.
That's beautiful
To
when
God be
you
the
with
glory.
somebody who understands. The understanding is
Yes.
To God be the glory.
cool.
So I want to ask y'all a question, and those of you out there, I want y'all to answer this too as well. Here's the thing. Okay, so here I have it written down. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Why are people afraid to slow down?
Because the world's moving way too fast to be slow.
Why are they afraid to slow down?
We like the tortoise and the hare, baby. The tortoise think he gonna lose the race. The hare feel like he gonna win because he quick. The world moves so fast. It's like to slow down. What if somebody else come along and do for him the things that in the speed of his life? What if somebody else come along and give that to him, and you still trying to take it slow?
I
Fear.
think it's 2 things. I think I don't know if y'all hear this. It sound like I hear
No, we don't.
a double. It's gone now. But I feel like it's fear and acceptance, right? I think that many are looking for somebody to accept them. So they want to speed it up to know, yeah, like this person likes me. Whatever confirmation they need, they're looking for it through that person.
Mhm.
And then also fear of, will life pass me by
Mhm.
because of I'm not good enough, because of whatever I'm unhappy with. Do the world see that too? So I think it's two things in motion. I think it's fear and acceptance that have people on speed drive, and I don't even think they realize they're on speed drive.
Mhm.
They're just moving at this pace because of fear and needing to be accepted.
For me, I agree with that, Zanny. I also believe that it boils down to lack mentality or abundance mentality. If we have a lack mindset, lack rushes, right? Lack says that if I miss out on this, then I won't have anything, right?
Wow.
Abundance says if I miss out on this, there's something else for me, right?
Come on
And
here.
so if we're dating with a lack mentality, I'm going to give too much. I'm going to not set boundaries. I'm going to
Wow.
expect all these things because if I miss him, I'm going to be single for another year, another 2 years, another. So I would rather believe, who was it, Betty Wright, who lied to us and said a piece of a man or half of a man is better than no man.
Right.
Like, I'm going to believe
Decline.
that. I'm going to believe that mindset. So I'm going to grab on to whoever I get because I'm afraid of, like you said, being alone. I'm afraid of this aspect. I'm going to miss out. But then if I have an abundance mindset, I say, baby, there are 8 billion people on this planet. I
Come on
guarantee
here.
you, if
Yeah.
you're not the one for me, it's going to be another one, right? And because I'm confident and I know myself well enough, then my value's not attached to rejection anymore. So then
Wow.
if this person doesn't want me, doesn't desire me, or doesn't see me, or what most of us do is we date people that we don't want, then we
Yeah.
feel rejected when they finally end the relationship because we should have ended it in the first place. Like we
Yeah.
just be fooling like out here. But that's what we do in
Right.
a lack mentality, right? Like I
Yeah.
didn't even want him, but now I'm laying in the bed, eating, ice cream and Twinkies because
Right.
this dude with one eye and 3 legs didn't want me no more. Like,
Right.
but the
Yeah.
abundance mindset says, nah, he just wasn't it for me. He didn't see my value. And sometimes it's a great guy, and there's nothing wrong with the guy per se. He's just not my guy. And that's
Wow.
okay as well.
And
Come
I
on
and I
here.
like
Don't
that.
add on to the thing that you get older, and as you get older, you get aches and pains, or as you get older, you get certain physical, or you go to the doctor and they diagnose you with certain things that you didn't have to deal with before. So when you add that on top of it, it make you want to move fast, or it make you want to stick and stay because you feel like, who gonna want me, and we degrade our own self. We take our own value down as we get older because it's like, who's gonna want me like this?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I
And I
have
was
a
gonna, I
question
was
though.
gonna
Wait. Wait. Before you
Jane, can
wait,
I
wait,
ask a question
wait.
real quick?
let her to.
I just have a real quick
Okay,
question. I hope this
okay,
don't
because
throw y'all off. But if
okay.
it's better to have half a man, which half would you choose?
Right.
Oh,
I
how
know
about
my
neither
answer, but
one?
I'm
children might
sorry.
be on here, so
I don't want
I'm
neither part.
sorry.
I don't want neither part.
She probably want the lower part.
Oh,
Why you don't think I want his intelligence?
So that's what we hold on to.
Oh my
I was
God.
gonna,
I feel bad.
Yeah, Jane.
It's
Before we
my
go,
fault. It's my
I was
fault.
gonna
she
say
set herself up for that one.
she did. She
I
walked
did.
right into it. I so loved what Lavonia said because the mentality, because also that's what was being thrown into embedded in our minds constantly. You go to church and it's you get a man and you get a man and God about to bless you with a husband and you get a man
Mhm.
and God said prepare yourself because he coming. So it's being embedded in our minds. So
That's so true.
and so that's becoming the mentality for real. Like it's
Uh-huh.
everywhere. Even in Hollywood. You got all these women out here fighting over men or switching husbands, but it's all about having a husband. So it's like it's just being embedded in our minds. Like that's the goal there. That's the focus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if
And we
we
think
teach
of it.
what Lavania just said, I think that more people will have a change mindset because everybody has a lack. Like me, I had a lack of my father's attention. Some people have a lack of feeling good enough because somebody told them along the way they stupid or they dumb or you ain't this, you never gonna, people come in with lack. So I think that if it's taught, listen, if this is not the person, your value is not degraded because they didn't choose you. Your value is still your value because there's somebody else out there that's going to say, hey, I see great value in you. And that's the person.
Real quick, let me go back, y'all.
Mhm.
Mama Pearlie said it's because they are scared.
Yeah,
yes.
That fear.
They had a couple of answers. Darren Phillips said reality will remind them of who they are or aren't.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Kim, how you doing, sis? She said, I agree, it's FOMO, fear of missing out. Wow.
Come on.
Come on, FOMO.
Yeah.
Fear of missing out.
And Robin Holmes, Mama Pearlie said you and her got the same last name. Maybe y'all cousins down the line somewhere. So she said, I read today someone stated that there is difference between being loved and being chosen.
Oh,
yes.
well, what's the difference?
Wow.
Wait a minute. What is the difference between being
So that goes
loved?
to my next question, y'all.
Oh, okay.
No, wait a minute, because we gonna get it. That goes
ahead.
to my next. We go a little ahead because we got some man. Listen, y'all. Let's go, please, y'all. Y'all gotta drop some hearts and some whatever's in the comment for these powerful women. They are truly, they are the bone, and they are. So this
Man,
goes
you
to,
love bombing us.
yes, I am. I have to. Y'all, so here's the next question. And I want y'all out there to answer it, y'all, in Shift Real Talk land. The next question is, how can you tell if someone loves you or just loves what you do for them? How can you tell? Woo! Come on, we cooking tonight. We cooking tonight, y'all.
Well, let them cook.
I think that's easy though.
Come
because
on.
it goes back to what we started out with the conversation we started with. You can tell when someone is doing it because they truly love you versus if they're just doing because they love what you do for them to keep you motivated to keep doing it because they get tired of doing whatever makes you happy. It's all about self-fulfillment. So if they're not happy, then I'm not doing nothing here either. This relationship ain't nothing to me because I'm not fulfilled in it. So why should I do anything for you? Versus, it doesn't matter whether if you do fulfill me or not. I love you enough to not let you suffer. It's like, okay, it's like this video my husband sent me that we laugh at. I don't know if y'all ever saw it. It's a reel of couples who got in an argument and you can tell they mad at each other, but like the husband moved the handle of the pot so the wife don't get burned. Or the husband saw the wife about to carry their laundry upstairs, so he just got the basket and carried it upstairs, even though they're mad at each other, not speaking.
Right.
But I love you enough to make sure you eat. Here, take this food. We're not talking right now, but you're gonna eat. Here.
Right.
That's how you can tell by a person's actions, and you can feel the genuineness behind it.
Period.
Yeah. I think that I agree. I agree in the sense of that one, you can tell once you can't or won't do the things that you have been doing for that person if you don't do those things and their response or their reaction changes to you, right? So if I am driven by me making my husband's lunch for him, I've had times where I've been exhausted, I've been tired, I've been this, and I'll still get up and try to make his lunch. He'd be like, baby, lay down. Like, you good. I got it. I can make and this is another thing about the fear of missing out. I met my forever love when I was 42 years old. Like, let that sink in. And I was married before, and I got married because it was fear of missing out, because I thought that was what I was supposed to be doing. And I ended up getting divorced because that was not who I was supposed to be with. And I met the love of my life at 42 years old. So don't tell me what my God can't redeem, right? And so when we think about it from that perspective, so when I say that I know my husband loves me, it's not has nothing to, if I never did another stinking thing for this man, I know my husband ain't going nowhere. because I know without a shadow of that he loves me. First and foremost, because I know how much he loves God. And I know that he asked God for me. And secondly, I know because due to his actions, because remember, we're not in one of these codependent where I'm the only one giving. So if we're both giving and we're both receiving in this relationship, and we have to understand that the way I give love and the way he receives love is maybe two totally different things. So I think that's the aspect of how do I know if a person loves me is, are they willing to love me the way I receive it, not just the way they want to give it. Right.
Mhm.
And that shows me that they've learned me, they know me enough to know, like, words of affirmation is my love language. And
Right.
so my husband gives me words of every day. That, like last week, I walked up into the bedroom and there was a card on the bed with him memorializing different aspects of the beginning part of our dating. That's so beautiful to me because that's words of affirmation, right? And then for him, it's physical touch. So every time I walk past him, I'm touching him, or and so I'm giving love the way he receives it, and he's giving love the way I receive it. And so
That's so beautiful because it's like what you're saying is we want to speak each other's love language. And there's so many
Mhm.
people, it's almost like, why I got to speak, they love me. Why can't they? And that's how you know too, it's felt. Just like Zania said, you can feel it. But see, it's so interesting, Zane, when you said that's easy. Do you know so many people don't even know what love is today?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because they don't know what love is, it's like, how do we break it down to them? Because even if they feel something that may be off, they may not know it's off because love to them may be what they saw growing up in their household, where the mama say, your dad does love me. He just, gets mad sometimes, and they
Mhm.
look to, other things. How do we relate to people that this is what it's like, in layman's terms, I guess, this is what it's like when you are being loved, and this is what it's like when you are being loved for what you do. How do we relate that in layman's terms to someone who doesn't know?
I want to get in on this question too. I believe it's the intention. And let me explain what I mean by the intention. Is the intention to either receive or give. If I have an intention to receive, then I'm going to remind you of what you're not doing or remind you that you forgot to do. But if I have the intention to give, I'm going to remind myself to be intentional about building, to be intentional about giving my love, whether you give it, whether you give anything or not. So I believe the intention it plays a long way and a long road to understanding who is with you for the purpose of building or who is with you for the purpose of receiving, because they're going to hold you down to giving. They're going to hold you down. That's
Mhm.
their expectation.
Yeah.
You going, what happened? You supposed to, you
Right.
supposed to give this the other day.
Right.
What happened? You forgot. No,
When they come home from work and you ain't even their wife yet, why this house ain't clean? Why
Baby.
does it look like this? And
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not your wife, even though we live together and we shouldn't. But
Hey, come on now, it's preaching something, right? But
I had to
I,
then.
but I think that's key, and what we have to understand, like to going back to your question of how do we teach someone this, first and foremost therapy. That's where I am 100. I believe we all need therapy, right? Everybody, like, you can have Jesus and therapy, like they go together. I believe that Jesus was a therapist and he was the best
Oh yeah.
counselor in the world, right?
Yeah,
And
Still
absolutely.
is.
He's
so
a great counselor.
still, baby, come on now. And so when I tell you, like, the mindset of what you talked about, Free, was so true, because the way we interact with our primary caregivers, it builds our attachment style, and our attachment style dictates how we attach to any and everyone else in the world. And when we have a faulty, or what we call insecure attachment style, which means that I got, when your father leaving all the time, and still loving you but leaving you, what you learned is that I need to do things to keep this person close to me physically, because I hadn't yet developed enough to know that I can be physically away from this person and still emotionally connected to them, right? And
Mhm.
so I stay in relationships where I got to physically be around this person, physically stay connected to them, because I had at a young age, the way my perception got built is in that. We get perception built into performance love, right? Is we do to like I'm the way I show love is by doing all these things for these person. So I believe our brain doesn't know whether a pattern is healthy or unhealthy. It just knows it's a pattern and we repeat it. And so if we get caught in a cycle that we've learned an unhealthy way to love, we have no idea whatsoever that it's unhealthy. We have no idea that this is not love. We have no idea that giving and giving and giving, I'm confused why it's not working. Like, why a man isn't staying with me because I'm giving
Right.
all of this? Because in my mindset, that's what love looks like, right? A man
That's
that
right.
spends all this money, but he never tells the girl that he loves her, he cares about her, or doesn't spend any time at home, but he's buying her everything and she still leaves him. And he don't understand, well, I gave her everything she wanted, but you didn't give her the thing that she needed. And so I think that's the key to it is first and foremost, we have to heal these misrepresentations of what love is. And we think about Christ, right? God says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
That's right.
So if we go back to the true epitome of love, then that's Christ. And so if we can point back to that and say, is what I'm doing making me look more like Christ or further away from him? Then
Amen.
that can help us readjust.
Amen.
Hey,
Oh
I
wow.
want to add, let me add something, Pastor Jay, because I also was sitting here pondering. So walk with me through this because I'm going to say some words that's not true, but it's true when you're in that circumstance. Okay.
Mhm.
So I watched my mom with my stepdad. They argued a lot to where it got physical. Some dangerous things happened. And even though in my mind, I knew it wasn't healthy or right, I somehow end up getting in that same predicament with my first husband, right?
Mhm.
To your point, I repeated a pattern that I was learning subconsciously, didn't know, repeated a
Right.
cycle. But in my mind, how I understood it was, oh, he's passionate about me.
Right.
You hear what I'm saying? He's
Right.
passionate. His passion tells me that he loves me.
Right. Right.
And that's how a lot of
Yeah.
people look at it, like this man gotta love me, that he's going through all of this. But how do you know that it's not love when it calls you to want to self-harm, when it
Mm.
calls you to constantly feel broken inside, when it constantly make you question your very existence or make you feel like you're not worth anything better?
Mm.
When you
Mm.
have to start questioning yourself to that degree, then that's how you know it's not love. And not saying that he is a bad person, because I know that even in that time when I was in that situation, and everybody kept telling me, my mom was like, "Yeah, he's no good." Da, 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 da. I kept focusing on the good sides of him. I was like, "What are you seeing?" And when you're in that predicament, that's what happens. So I'm not saying the person is a bad person, but they have their demons too. And they're not
Mhm.
mature enough or ready to deal with their demons. So unfortunately, you're caught up in the hell that they're creating in their
Oh
own
yeah.
lives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
so
remember,
how do you know when you need to get away? Is when you're not feeling like when you're feeling less than, and you can look at yourself in the mirror and don't recognize yourself anymore. It's not love, sweetheart. It's time to rebuild and to your
Yeah.
point, get counseling, get help, find your way out of it.
Realign.
you know, the enemy is so tricky. To go back to what you were saying, right? It's so funny because a lot of us have grown up in dysfunction. A lot of us, for some reason, the average family that the culture that we live in, have grown up without fathers in the home. So what a lot of us do is we grow up with that pain. We grow up with that pain, and what we do is because we are in the house and we can't do nothing about it. What we've learned to do is actually deal with that behavior,
Oh yeah.
mask it, cope with it. So what the enemy does is he said, "Oh, I know what's going to get them to stay there." So he'll send you somebody that's going to actually bring that same behavior that you've
Familiar.
been dealing
Yeah.
with this whole time. You've been dealing with this behavior the whole time, and you have not healed from it. So to keep you stuck in it, he's going to send you the same type of man that you've seen. And what you do is because you saw a stick and stay, that's what you do, and
Yeah.
you don't
Because it
heal from
feels
that. So
familiar.
Yeah, because it's very familiar.
Right.
So this is a cycle that continuously repeats itself unless you get in, like Lavanya said, you got to get that help. You know what I'm saying? Like even coming out of these situations, if you don't get that help, you're going to continuously and you're going to overgive in these relationships because you're going to prove to this dog, and I'm not saying it literally, but that's the scripture. That's scripture.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to prove to this dog that you are worth it. You're going to prove to this dog that you are better than what he think you, the behavior that he's giving you. And it's crazy because we cannot get into situations proving to somebody that's not worth. Some people are not even worth you giving them that energy. They're not worth it. There's nothing wrong with giving, but you got to give with wisdom. Because if you're giving without wisdom, then you're doing a hard labor that does not desire your work.
No return on your
Yeah.
investment.
Yeah.
And when you were talking, Zany, it was interesting to me because even what Pastor Jay said, it's like you didn't like the behavior growing up. You knew
didn't like
something
it.
was wrong with it, right? Not you, literally you, but it's like you
No,
know
it's just-
something's wrong with it. You
Mhm.
know that you don't like it, but then when the enemy brings that person to you, because he represented himself some way first, and you fell in love with that person first, because he didn't come that other way at first. Now you make excuses for him because you fell in love with him that nobody else. Well, the side of me he shows me. He don't show that to everybody or whatever. And then we start making excuses, and that's how the patterns continue because it's familiar to me. Although I didn't like it, I fell in love. And once you feel like you fell in love with somebody, after that familiarity, even though you know it's wrong, you deal with it and you stay in it because it's what you know, what you've learned to cope with. And that familiarity, that'll get us every time because he gave so much, that love bombing. But Lavanya, I want to say something to you real quick, and this goes way back. You said you haven't filled your gas tank up in how long?
3 years.
Okay.
Actually, I'm lying. I filled it up once in 3 years, and my husband owed me after I filled it up because that's his job. And so, like, I blasted him on Instagram. I was like, y'all, like because it was so bad. I didn't know what side of the tank that the gas tank was on. I didn't like. I had like complete muscle memory had been. Like I had not filled up my tank in 3 like.
Yes.
But also,
So my husband gets on the phone with his dad.
Why you stop helping her?
My husband gets on the phone
my
with his dad today and gonna say, Dad, yeah, she don't even fill her own tank up. You're right, because you like doing it for
My
me.
wife get in the car and
why
don't
should
even look
I?
at it. She hasn't
Right.
even looked. She don't know how much gas is in the
He
car.
be like, babe, how
I
much
don't
gas
even
you
know
got?
if
I'm like,
right. I don't know what a good price for gas is. I don't know.
Me
Like,
neither.
why would we know that? Like,
Of
why do I need
course.
to know? I don't even know that. That's what
And
you're
it's
here
okay,
for.
baby.
We don't need to know
Thank
that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Let me go back real quick because
Thank you for helping him.
let me go back real quick, y'all.
Can I comment real quick about
Sure,
Lady
absolutely. I'm
Free?
sorry.
So I just want to say two things what you said, and Zany, you too, because one of the things that you said, one, you described a trauma bond, right? And a trauma bond starts with that love bombing, right? It starts at love bombing, then we do the commitment so they can become dependent on you, right? And then once I get you love bombing, I get you committed to me, then I start criticizing you. And so now the very things that I loved about you, now you can't do nothing right? And then I do a disillusionment. So now I get you to and there's gaslighting, there's manipulation, there's all these things, and then I continue this cycle with you. So when Zany is describing the only thing she sees with this man is the things that she loves about him. What happens with love bombing is that, or with a trauma bond, is this guy was great for 3 weeks and we will stay for 3 years hoping that we get back that 3-week guy, because that's the real him. It's the same way with like literally the same mechanisms in your brain that activate in a trauma bond activate when you are addicted to drugs. Because when you get that first high, you will constantly chase that first high and you will never get it, right? That's why they overdose, because they're trying to get back to that original high. that's the same thing with love bombing. They will do all these things that first 3 weeks, that first 3 months, whatever. And then their voice becomes oh, I love you. I do this, I do that. And so now every other voices, all the voices that we used to trust, our mother, our friends, we start hiding it from them because they just don't
Wow.
understand him. They just
Oh.
don't see him the way I see him. Right. And so that's the trauma bonds. But then you also described that you said that he didn't do it in the beginning. Here's the thing. When you have grown up with your norm being dysfunctional, it's not your norm because it's normal, it's your norm because it's familiar. They
Mhm.
can start off doing those things. But my brain, my dysregulated nervous system is so jacked up that anxiety is excitement for me. So I am in a relationship that causes me anxiety, but that I think that that's excitement. This is exciting. It's exciting. Like I like it when he calls me these things, and when he, don't answer the phone, and then, da 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 da, and I have to play like I think that's exciting. So then a guy who comes to me who I don't have to play games with, who clearly tells me what he wants and what he likes, I call him a simp. He a lame. So I
Exactly.
don't, because I don't even know how to handle that. So sometimes a guy can come, why you ain't answer the phone? Oh, he must really love me. No, he's possessive. But
Mm.
we don't see those things because in our brain, that is normal. So we've now we've changed our regulation system to this level of anxiety. And if we don't have that anxiety and stress in a relationship, then we think that this relationship is boring. And then we're out and we don't know, baby, that boring guy gonna change your life. It's not that you're
Mhm.
bored, it's that you're dysregulated. So if you learned how to regulate and live in a calm body, you will recognize I don't need that's not cute to sleep with somebody and not know if they're gonna call you back the next day. Like that's not fun to, you know, oh, I gotta wait 3 days before I call him because I don't want him to. That's exhausting to even think about. But we're
Yeah.
out here, and there are people on these social media that have initials behind their name that are giving this as dating advice too. So y'all got to be careful with that because they are literally telling people that these are things that you got to do to get or keep a man, and
Mhm.
it's pretending.
Mm.
Come on, y'all. Y'all got to give it up for these ladies here.
Y'all, we have.
Let me just go back for a couple of comments, and then I just want to quickly, because we don't want to, go too long. I mean, even though we're taking our time, but I know y'all got to get back to your husband. But I want to read because a lot of them were answering the questions. Um, Mama Pearlie said their actions never change. What to do in the beginning, it happens always. And then Mama Pearlie, yeah, she said their actions never change. Is ongoing, and love is an action word.
That's how you could
That's
tell.
That's how
it.
you get. And Robin said, right, understanding each other's love language.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Kim, she said, mine is acts of service. Just come in, pick up, and do something.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Come
And
That
on.
then
might be
Darren
mine
Phillip.
too then.
Do something around here. Darren Phil said, sometimes you have to develop your own sense of what love looks like when you are self-taught on things in life. What do y'all say about that?
Mm. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Darren, but sometimes our best thinking got us into the situations that we're in the first place. So you can develop your own sense of what love, but I would say challenge that with the Bible, challenge that with other healthy
I was gonna
individuals in
say
your
that.
life, challenge that with therapy, because again, sometimes the things that we think are norm, they're not normal. They're just dysfunctional, but we've lived in them for so long that we don't know the difference.
Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say that too. Like piggyback on that, like understanding what love is only through the Bible.
Yeah.
The way God exemplified it, and the characteristic that He put inside of us. That
Y'all
exemplifies
do
His
know
love.
that's why he said, follow me,
Yeah.
right? Because he was trying to say, let me show you how before I leave you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Follow me.
Robin said, I was in a relationship that was headed towards abuse. I'm 1.5 years in, and I finally saw the signs, even though they were there. He grabbed me by the collar in an argument, and I froze. The sense of security I had was broken.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
Darren
yeah,
said
that's
he
another telltale too. That when
yeah.
when you can't trust your mate, if you constantly question when they move, where they're going. Like that's another sign that you might have to check the love. It may be tainted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And
Darren
I'm
said
proud
he
of you, Robin,
understands.
for letting that go. I was
Yes.
just saying to Robin, I'm proud of her for letting that go.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So,
Absolutely.
to kind of like bring it on in, y'all. What are some of the things that we could do to show the people who get in these relationships and give their all at in the beginning? What are some of the things that we could say that can navigate them going through the process as opposed to going all in? What are some of the things that we can at least tell? If I could start, I would say just start with the connection first. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
get to know who the person is. If I could start that off, if
I
you
would
got
say
some.
give it time. Give it time so that you could start seeing what's inside of them when they get squoze. Is squoze the word?
Yeah, yeah, you made it.
When you squeeze, when they
It's
when
your
things
word.
Yeah, it's that word. There you
I'll
go.
when
take
time
it. I'll take it.
when times get when times are not all peachy keen, how are they then? So give it time
Mhm.
to get to know them past their representative, because we know that the representative is there in the beginning. We all know this.
Yeah. I love that.
then then there has to be a level of consistency that is built, because again, you want this person, you want to show this person, you want to see that this is who they are. And when it's like y'all said earlier, when it's in them, they can't help but to be who they are. They can't help but to do the things that they do. So there has to be a level of consistency in who they are. So if they're exerting an energy, or not an energy, if they're exerting a behavior in the beginning and that behavior changes, that's not consistency.
Okay. Lavania,
Mm-hmm.
you and Zane, what do y'all say about the question?
I was gonna ask, can you repeat the question for me?
I
Can
was,
you
But
I
repeat
was
it for
about to
me?
say you starting a whole other
no,
podcast.
no, I'm saying like, because now I want to kind of direct them into understanding what we should do instead of coming in the relationship and going all in the beginning.
What
Like,
should you do?
yeah, what is the process of
Slow
actually,
down.
yeah, slowing down? Yeah, that's why I said start good connections. Sit down and like, oh, Mama Pearlie said something. Robin Holmes said, take your time.
Yeah.
Kim, I like what Kim Scott said. Repeat that for the people in the back. This is dysfunctional, yes.
This.
But Mama Pearlie said, no, Robin Holmes said, take your time. Mama Pearlie said, sit down and talk to your mate and let him or her know what you are feeling in the relationship and go from there. Amen. Amen.
What do you say, Lavania?
Yeah.
So a couple things for me. One, one of the things that I tell my journeyers, which are my therapy clients, is you never give your all, you give your best, right? If I give my all, I'm empty at the end. So I give
Mm.
my best, right?
Amen.
The only person who deserves my all is God. So if I go into a
Ah, come on here.
relationship, if I give my best to this person, then one, I'm not depleted. I'm not, because if you think about a cup, and I use this example in our talk, Lady Free, but if you think about a cup, right? If I fill my cup up, if I continue to drink out of that cup and I don't fill it up, then it's going to be empty. And if
Right.
I don't pour back into my cup, what's at the bottom? It's backwash and crumbs. That's it. So that's the same thing with us. When we give everything to someone else, what we're going to get at the bottom is that bitterness, is that resentment. So
Mhm.
unless we're pouring back into ourselves, so never give your all, but you give your best in a relationship. So now I don't have to pretend. I can literally be okay giving what I want. I also say, stop giving these dudes the playbook on the first date. Like
Oh,
the point of a first date is to find out if I want to give you some more time on a second date. That's it. Go on these first dates, have interactions with this person. But we on here on a first date, like finding out, like we doing an FBI interview. And there's a part, and then he snaps at the waiter, and then you don't want to talk to him no more. But now you leaving with all this information in your head about a person that you will never talk to again, right? So, and what we're doing is we're going on these dates and we're telling these people, well, this is what I want in a relationship. This is what I want in a relationship. This is what I want in a relationship. What is that person going to do? Those
What you at?
exact things because you just told them. What I
exactly.
would say is say, hey, I want to get to know you. I want to be myself, you be yourself, and we'll see if we're a match. That's it. So
That's
now
it.
there's pressure off because now I could just fully be me, you can fully be you, and then I can see if we can connect. And then the last thing that I say is we don't teach people how to date, but we teach people how to date us. There are some fundamentals in a relationship that a person should have. right? But there's other things, because even though they're an adult and they've been in relationships all their life, they haven't been in a relationship with me,
With
right?
me.
Not every woman wants a man that's gonna that well, every woman probably wants a man that fill up her tank, but not every woman will have that as an expectation, right? Not every woman will stand at her door and wait until he opens it, but I will,
Exactly.
and I have it as an expectation. So I taught my husband. Now, my husband already did most of these things, but I taught my husband how to do these things, right? Because he was dating me. So when you get into that relationship, not charging a person for not knowing how to date you and how to love you when they're just getting to know you, and be willing to teach them the things that you need in a relationship that are healthy, and then be willing to receive what they need as well.
Good deal. What about you, Zane?
I would say
Bring us home,
just a,
Zane.
just a couple of things. One, find out what is it that you really want for self, because a lot of times we are just going into it, accepting whatever comes to us without any idea what is it that we really want. Not like
Right.
I agree with you, Lavonia. I'm not saying going on a date and tell what you want. It's not for the other person. It's for you. You
Yeah.
have to be confident in what you want, confident what you need. Because if you don't know what you need, then no one can satisfy it anyway. And secondly,
Good.
I would say, and I lost my train of thought focusing on that. But secondly, I will also say pay attention to the conversation, because what is truly his interest? You can tell a person's interest based on the conversation. It doesn't
Mm,
take long. Just really pay attention to where the conversation is leading.
Yeah.
And then that'll help you also know if you have a mature person sitting in front of you, or somebody who just want to play and who will only see you as a plaything. So you have to be willing. Not also don't be willing to jump in the bed so quick, because
Oh
yeah.
my.
as that
Yes.
this it just came back to me. I know it's exciting that first date. Oh my God, he said the right things. I feel so light and airy.
Yes.
But slow the feelings down and use wisdom more than emotion,
Yes.
because
Mm,
emotion will have you messed up. Emotion will have you in the bed, and then once you get in the bed, then it's going to even trip your head out even more. Not you don't have clarity because you're
mm,
focused on the experience you had and not on everything else that's happening. So just
Exactly.
slow down the emotions. I understand it
Slow.
feels good. Everybody wants to feel good, but slow it down so you can
Yeah.
actually see the picture really clear. It's like watching a really good movie. If you get so excited about one part, you done miss the next part. Slow down, pay attention to every part so that you can
Pay attention
understand
to every
the
part.
movie in
Look.
totality.
Yeah.
Y'all are
That's it.
That's
cooking
that's
with
good. I wish
grease.
I had this playbook when I was dating.
Ooh,
This information would have helped me out so much.
y'all are cooking with grease. Look, my
mhm.
dad said, slow your roll. Make sure they are who do you think they are.
Dad, yeah, you could tell Dad, he
Mhm.
pimping. Dad say, slow you roll, baby, slow you roll.
Robin Holmes said, give from the saucer, not from your cup.
Come on here.
And
Yeah, that part
at
overflow.
Gillian, be friends
That's
first. Get to know
Donna.
them, and you will figure out if they are worth your time. Amen.
If they are worth your time, you
That's
said
Your
right.
that.
time.
Kim
That
said you
part.
preaching. She said you are preaching. Give my best instead of my all. Come
Love
on,
that.
that's right. You
Love
give.
that.
I love
Mhm.
that. I gotta take that, man. You
Mama,
give my all to
Take it.
God.
Mama Liza said we
Take it.
have to
Give me my
stop
copyright though.
potential.
That's right.
What you
I said, give me my copyright though.
I give you a copyright. I give it to you. I give it to you.
You better cite that. Cite it.
Right,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
need to.
yeah.
Let me go ahead real quick.
Yeah, going. Eliza said I
Don't
made
skip
myself a.
Eliza.
She said
Don't
I
skip
made
that one.
myself a woman of builder man,
Jesse.
like the store Build a Bear, but I was using all the wrong materials and tools.
And
You
baby,
skip one. You skip one, Jesse.
Which one?
Eliza said we have to stop loving potential.
I think we said that.
right.
Yeah, we have to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, she said
You
that.
didn't
Absolutely.
say
Hmm.
it.
My wife said it.
Gillian.
I
I
love
ain't
the
What's
get
her
part
it.
first
about
name?
Donna, this is Donna.
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 Hey Donna. She said, I love the part about be willing to teach them how you
How
want to be
you
treated. That's
come
right.
on.
I hear so many women saying, I'm not teaching a grown man nothing.
Hmm.
He should already know, but he doesn't know about you. That's
He
right.
doesn't know
Yeah.
about you,
He
He doesn't
boo.
know what you are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Robin, she said, feels good for
That
5 to 10
part.
minutes and be on the eggshells for 5 to 10.
5 to 10 weeks. Shake it.
That's
Water those eggshells, Robin.
Yeah,
that's it.
you
Because you're
feel good
anxious.
for
You're
5
like
to 10
it was
minutes of
never
Oh,
intimacy.
meant to
that's.
be that way.
And then next thing you
Yeah.
know, you locked
I
into
thought it was 2 to
somebody.
3 minutes.
Baby, you don't even give me 2 to 3 minutes.
I will
Well,
say
you right
this.
about that.
If
I
he gave me 2
say
to 3 minutes, do you think I'll still be
we
no, I'm
right
playing.
free with me on this call. But I would
Like,
say
what?
trust their words, verify their actions, right? Like I trust your words, but I need to verify it through your actions. Like
Right.
Zane said that. Like if a guy tells you he can't answer the phone, he always busy. But every time you talk to him, he on a trip or he this or he that, he this. It's not that he's too busy, it's just he doesn't want to talk to you. He doesn't
Right.
value giving you that time, right? So a lot of
Exactly.
times if he says he values, relationships, but he don't talk to his mama, his sister, nobody, he don't have no friends, so you have to think about this. He gonna take care of your kids, but he got 3 kids and 4 baby mamas, and he ain't
And he's
taking
not
care of
right.
them. And
Right.
so we have to trust the words, verify the actions. And
I
so
have a
many of us women are so hungry for words that we forget about the rest.
oh, we hungry. I
Mm.
have a real quick question because we have to close out, guys. But my question is this: is it okay to do a background check on people that you are dating?
I say do the background check, do the
I
fingerprint.
mean, people, yeah, the world we live in today. I mean, do you think it's okay?
But let me ask you this. What would the background check prove? Nothing. You know how many serial killers out here that got a clean record?
But what about the
Mm,
ones that have domestic violence in their background and you're dating them, not realizing
You can
that
see the
this
red
person
flags. You don't need a background check for that.
mhm.
It's
not in the
evident.
beginning when they
No,
love
no, no.
bombing and when
It
they
is.
loving on you good.
It goes back to Lavonie, what Lavonie said, and I agree. The signs are there. You dismiss the signs because either one, it feels familiar, or two, you just, I just love everything about him, so I'm gonna dismiss that part and keep this part. The signs are there.
Mhm.
But I think
I
I think the
mhm.
writing on the wall will be a little bit better than a sign.
I
If you pull that
can't.
report up and see that mug shot,
Okay, what if he changed though? What if he found God and he changed his life? So now you dismiss the person who changed their life because of his
more than
past.
likely you're not gonna dismiss them, but at least you got a little context. You gotta know
And
in
you
order
might,
to stop.
but realistically, you might dismiss them, right? Like you get to have preferences. That's the abundance mindset. Is I get to have preference. Even if the Lord has changed his heart, doesn't mean that I want to marry a felon. Because that, I mean, I'm not saying that in a negative. I'm saying that to say you get to have preferences, right? Now, do I think it's right or wrong per se? I won't get into that, but I will say the why. Like I will say, trust the gut that's making you want to do it in the first place. Like
Oh wow,
if
that's good.
if I am thinking about doing a background check on this guy, then there's something in my gut that's telling me something is off on here. And if I'm thinking about doing a background check on every guy, then y'all call me for a therapy session because you got trust issues.
Come on.
And
Exactly.
so
Come on.
Exactly.
that's
Exactly. Trust the
that's it.
gut. Trust the gut. We're gonna live. We're gonna
So
end
before
with
we
that.
go, Robin said, "Do he like me? Is he gonna call me?" That's what he was. I thought we were
Right.
talking about the
Yeah.
mother eggshells.
No,
Okay,
no,
cool.
no.
But anyway, listen,
Trust
y'all.
the gut, people.
Listen,
Trust
y'all.
the gut.
Listen,
Trust
y'all. We
it.
have. Uh, this was an awesome show, man.
Exactly.
First of all, we
I
want to
loved it.
thank Lavanya. Lavanya, please tell them where they can find you. Tell them anybody on here that needs a good therapist. Like she is awesome. She's in the city of Houston.
Yes.
So if you want to reach
And
out
she's
to her,
virtual.
and she's virtual, and
Yes.
she's
Right.
good. And we
Yes.
fell in love with her the first day we met her and her husband,
Absolutely.
and it was an instant connection. And we was like, we gotta bring you on the show. With she finally got in touch with us and took the time out because she's busy. So we thank you,
Busy
Lavanya.
doing good work.
We
Yes.
thank you for
I
coming
am
in.
honored. This has been great. Thank y'all. Hopefully y'all have me back again. I would love to come in and chime in again. This is beautiful. So you can reach me at any of my platforms, Lavanya R Tryon. So LAVONIA RTRYON. On Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all of those, same handle, or LavanyaRTryon.com.
Man, Listen, and man, our people stayed with us, man. We normally go an hour, but we went an hour and a half. And our people are still on. They still on. But this a record.
Because
they still on.
People know when it's good. The conversation is helping.
They are still
And then
on.
Kim said, "What about a credit check? You see what you just started, free."
Thank you, Kim.
Exactly. Like,
yeah, credit check.
Lavonya, open me up to this. If that's what your preference is, yes, ma'am. Do that credit check.
But then I would ask you to say, what if he did one on you? That leave in with that. If he would he
Hopefully
do if he did one on you,
my credit.
if he doing one on you and he wouldn't date you, then you in the same boat, right? So,
but at least you guys will have the information and you would know.
Robin, look up. Robin, look her up. We highly recommend her if you wanna reach out to Lavonya.
Yes, y'all reach out to me. I love it here.
Yeah, reach out, man. And we love Zania. So listen, y'all, man. That's our time, man. I'm your boy, Pastor
J.
And I'm Zany.
All this clapping, honey.
Yeah, and
I know, right? We just clapped all the way through all that.
I'm sorry. But come on here.
And our special guest today, we are honored to have
Lavonya Tryon Scott. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Yes.
We're gonna have to take the sound machine away from him because he sounded all through your last part. But we love you, sis. Don't do it again, babe.
I'm not.
I feel like that you are family already. We love you so much, and thank you.
And we definitely, you coming back on.
Joining us.
I will be.
Next week, guys. Listen, our Shift Real Talk Nation. We love y'all for rocking with us. Thank y'all for staying with us. Do not forget to subscribe. Shift Real Talk TV on YouTube and Facebook. Subscribe, and share.
Share this now. Somebody's gonna want to hear this tonight. I know
that was the explanation.
You're right. Somebody's gonna want to hear this tonight. So share the content.
See, when we dated, I should have figured out if he has to have the last word.
Yeah.
That was a powerful last word.
It was very powerful. Very powerful.
And we love you guys so much.
And
Until next week, same bad channel, same bad plays. Peace.